Aw, look at Mega Man, the old blue bomber. Isn't he great? From the NES to the SNES, just so many memories, so many great games throughout the years. Why, I bet any one of his games could be the topic of a great video. Well, today I'm reviewing Mighty Gunvolt Burst. So... Mighty Gunvolt was a small, short, free game you could play if you purchased Azure Striker Gunvolt on the 3DS, and you can purchase it on Steam. It brings together the characters Gunvolt from Azure Striker Gunvolt, which I personally love, and Beck from... Mighty Number 9. Okay, to be fair, Mighty Gunvolt came out before Mighty Number 9 and its ensuing disappointment. Available for only $10 on the Nintendo Switch and 3DS, Mighty Gunvolt Burst is a longer, much more fleshed out follow-up on that idea. I'm gonna go ahead and say what a few reviews on this game have already said. This is the game Mighty Number 9 should have been. When the game starts, you can choose to play as either Beck or Gunvolt. Personally, I chose Gunvolt because, as I mentioned, I really like Azure Striker, and I'm just a bit biased against Beck after hearing what became of his game. This game, much like the two games that the protagonists are from, is a Mega Man clone. Whereas the other two games are more similar to Mega Man X, Burst's graphical style and more simplistic gameplay make it feel much more like the classic NES Mega Man. I will say right off the bat, it's really freaking good. For a game that's all about jumping and shooting, it pulls off the jumping and shooting remarkably well. Platforming feels perfect. Even in more difficult platforming segments, I never quite felt like the game was going to screw me over. Any missteps or fatal falls were my fault, and I knew it. And the shooting? Boy, let me tell you about the shooting. The thing that, for me, makes this game so addicting is that it doesn't limit you to your standard attack. Your gun is actually fully customizable, with more and more modifications and abilities unlocked as you play the game. You see, in each level there are secrets, found by breaking through walls. These secret rooms have anything from stickers to new abilities and weapon modifiers, and pickups that increase your CP. What is CP, you ask? As you unlock more weapon mods, you'll want to add more and more, but there is a limitation. Each mod costs a certain amount of CP to equip. The higher your max CP, the more you can modify yourself to high heaven, and I mean to high heaven. By the time I was done with Gunvolt's campaign, I was a super-powered, damage-resisting double-jumping maniac, and boy did it feel good. There are so many ways to customize your weapon, with things like how fast your bullet travels, how many bullets appear on screen, do your bullets shoot straight or do they home in on enemies? Do you shoot one bullet at a time or more like a shotgun? Do your bullets pass through enemies or through walls? Or do you have them reflect off of walls entirely to hit enemies from behind? In addition to modifying your weapons, you can also modify yourself. You can use CP to increase your number of jumps, increase your damage, decrease the damage you take, and even add new abilities to help take out tough enemies. And the best part is that you can make several different customized loadouts and save them to individual slots, which you can switch between on the fly with the press of a button. Make a new loadout that you realize just isn't quite working out? Just pause the game and you can customize on the go, and get back into the action to test it out again. On top of all of this, you can also unlock different elements that you can add to your bullets. Much like in Mega Man games, each level has its own tough boss. But as you unlock elements and learn each boss's weakness, simply equip yourself with that element and it makes them much easier to deal with. Still not easy, but easier. Each level has 3 rewards to choose from when you finish. The element of that level's boss, a large increase in your max CP, and a sticker. Later on in the game, you'll realize just how much CP you need, so you'll definitely want to replay the levels and go back to unlock at least the boss's elements and the CP increase, which I had no problem with at all. The levels are short enough and fun enough that I've replayed through them multiple times with no problem. The fact that some levels have multiple routes, each with their own challenges and secrets, it certainly is worth playing through each level at least a second time. The great thing is, the game has 2 separate characters, each with their own abilities, weapon mods, and stories. I've already beaten the game at this point as Gunvolt, and I'm already making my way through as Beck. While the levels and bosses are the same, the way you can approach them with each character is different because of the fact that they have different abilities and bullet types. I do plan to continue playing through the game, but I can safely say after playing through just one campaign, it is well worth the $10 price. I played it on the Switch, and as I mentioned, it is also available on the 3DS. If you like Mega Man, and in fact if you like Shovel Knight, this game is definitely worth picking up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more, feel free to check out one of these other videos you see here on the screen, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me by looking up The Portly Gamer on the social networks below.